Hi, we are here today with fiddle player Fred Carpenter. Fred has recorded and toured with many artists such as Strait, Ronnie Milsap, Tony Rice, Emmylou Harris, along with many others. He has also received an IBMA award and a Grammy nomination for his fiddle work with Murder on Music Row. He is also the owner of the Violin Shop, which is where we are today. So Fred, tell us how you got started playing the fiddle.
I started as a young boy, a violin student, in the state of Vermont. I was living back there, and there was a string program, and I had some friends doing it. Looked like fun, so gave it a whirl. And after a few years, we moved to Maine, and I got another teacher over there, and then that sort of was my beginning of it. It was a classical violin start.
Okay. So what is the difference between a classical violinist and a fiddle player?
Well, it's a style of music. It's sort of just some basic, a lot of difference in the wrist and the arm movement. A classical player is reading note for note from the music and trying to sort of interpret it the way the composer may have wanted it to be, you know, with their own something to say too, we hope, you know. But a fiddle player, a lot of times it's learning the melody and just play whatever notes seem to work for you, and, you know, it's not so off the page. You know.
What would you consider yourself?
Anymore, a fiddle player. Yeah,
Okay.
not much of a reader anymore.
Okay. Well, Fred, I know that you worked with Tony Rice very early in your career, so tell us, what was that like?
It was great. I was about 22, and it was pretty exciting. Moved from Maine to California to play with the Tony Rice unit, so I was pretty excited. It was a lot of music work, and not a lot of actual going out there and playing at first. A lot of practicing, and we went and did a couple records in the next couple of years for Rounder. Toured a little bit, but mostly just worked on the recordings and worked on just sounding good at the gigs.
Cool. So after Tony Rice, what came next for you?
That was about the mid-'80s. I actually went to Missouri for a while and worked with the Dillards and the Darlin family. And then eventually came to Nashville and worked here with several artists from about late 80s till the early 90s. And then sort of got off the road and started working in a violin shop.
Cool.
Until you will, I'll still my heart high above.
Well, Fred, tell us about the Violin Shop.
Well, when I moved to Nashville, I had been apprenticing earlier with a guy in California, so I sort of had some chops about repair and rehairing and things. So I started that as a second thing behind the music, and within 5 or 6 years of being in town, they sort of flip-flopped, and I got off the road, and the shop's been growing. It's been 23 years now.
Wow,
So we do
that's
the
great.
usual repair, rentals, sales, have a lot of great fiddle players that come in over the years and have have been coming in for a long time.
Cool.
So here's the little thing in the key of G you could try at home. So if I break that down, it starts on the high string, the E string. First half, second half. First half. Second half. So the whole thing slowed down. One more time.
Well, Fred, tell us about the Fiddle Masters concert series. What is it? Where do you get it? That kind of thing.
Well, it's a series of DVDs available on Mel Bay.
Okay.
It was something I just sort of got crazy in the mid 2005-06 area. I decided to build out a concert room in here and throw some cameras up and film some live shows. And I assembled a bunch of fiddlers over the next few years, and we recorded it on 4 or 5 cameras, and we really are proud of our little Fiddle Masters concert series on DVD.
I wanna be a cowboy sweetheart. I wanna learn to rope and ride.
Well, Fred, tell us about the duo that I've been hearing lots about, Carpenter and May.
This has been a lot of fun for me. After being away from playing music in the shop here for 15 or 16 years, Tim and I started working on a little thing to play a Strings magazine concert, and one thing turned into another, and we sort of went in the studio and made this record last year, and it came out last fall, and it went #1 the first month on folk radio.
Wow,
So
that's great.
we're excited. We're out there doing some dates these days to promote it, and Charlie Chadwick on bass. It's a pretty strong little trio.
Great. Well, Fred, most fiddle players use the Carpenter jack on their fiddle. Tell us about that and how you came up with the idea.
I was just sort of out of need. I got tired of the little 1/8" things that went with most pickups, so I came up with this little 1/4" idea of a Chinrest Hardware, and we molded these pieces, and been selling ever since.
The Carpenter jack.
There you have it.
Could never be enough, and I won't take less than your love.
Fred, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It's always interesting to learn more about you, and thank you to the Violin Shop as well.
Thank you, Erica. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.